Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Good morning, everybody. So let's chase this rainbow. The rainbow today is the power of intentful expectations. Go there with me. You ready? Here we go. Here's the thing. Waking up every day in life, you have expectations. Okay? From the day you're born to the day you die, there's an expectation. There's an expectation from your parents. You're going to have to grow up. I need you to suck this bottle. I need you to make sure you eat these mashed potatoes. I need you to use your own hands to eat. Once you use your own hands to eat, I need you to use this silverware. Eventually eating on your own. Expectation. Or how about, oh, look, he rolled over. Do it again, do it again, do it again. We rolled over. Now we pulling up. Oh my gosh, she's sitting up. Do it again, do it again, do it again. Expectation, yes. We done set up. Now we one foot in front of the other. The expectation for you is to walk. Yes, that is a day one expectation. Okay? Expectations are everywhere. People always say they don't have expectation, but that's not true, because even as an adult, there is expectation. I expect that when I sit down on this bench, it's going to uphold itself for me and my weight. Because I know if I sit in that one, it ain't going to hold my weight. Expectation, yes or no? All right, let's move on. I expect to stand up under these trees and get some shade. That is the expectation of that tree. It's so funny how people choose to disregard expectation for themselves. What did you do? Did you have a goal when you stepped into this? Did you have expectations of what you wanted to see out of it? Did you have anything that required you to keep moving forward? Or did you just go into it thinking it was going to land in your lap? It don't work that way. It don't work that way. Even stuff that land in your lap, there was an expectation that you met to get that. It didn't just land in your lap just because you didn't see the expectation process, but somebody was watching you with expectation in mind. Here is where intentful expectation comes in for me. Okay? You have expectation from your parents from the day you're born. You have expectation from the school the day you walk in their door. You have expectation on everyday life, just believing things that you have to do. I have to get up and go to work. Expectation. I have to get up and take care of my kids. Expectation. Why don't you place expectation on your dream like that? I don't understand it. If you have a dream, why is it so hard for you to expect yourself to get up and live that dream? People say success is unattainable. That is not true. We are made in the image of God. Okay? So if God made us in his image, he made us to be able to make a decision of what we're going to do with our everyday lives. But you got to keep him first to know. Are you going to mess up? Yeah. You know how many times I done messed up? Yes, we're going to mess up. You have to right your wrongs, and you have to continue to keep going. But there's an expectation of growth that you have to have on yourself before any expectation of anybody else is available to you. The problem is, people don't know that God tells you to do it with expectancy in your heart. If God requires to you expect things, if God requires for you to expect things, why won't you expect them for you? These things are important. You have to be intentional on the things that you say, the things that you do, the things that you think about. Have you ever thought, dang, why did I think that? You need to think about your thoughts more often. And when you learn to think about your thoughts, you know what'll happen after that? Well, what happened is, okay, now I know that's what I'm going to think. So let me rearrange. And don't rearrange for other people, because that's why a lot of people ain't happy. They rearrange their lives for their kids, for their parents, for everybody. Stop rearranging your life, because what you're doing is creating a generational curse of rearranging lives for everybody else's purpose. I expect my kids to be individuals. I expect them to know what they want to do when they get older. I expect them to have a plan. I expect them to pursue their dreams. That's my expectation. But most parents will go, oh no, you don't need to do that. You need to do this. Stop doing that because you don't know what vision God gave that baby. But that goes the same for adults. We as adults need to go to each other and hold each other accountable. The world is so soft. They soft. And they get mad when you say an expectation you have for an individual or a collective group of people. Let me tell you something. Jesus had expectation for his ministry. Jesus had expectation for us when we were born. What did he give you when you were a kid? What did you want to do? What stopped you from doing it? It's so funny because I meet adults on a regular basis that said I wanted to be a lawyer when I was a kid. And they pursued that. But then I also know some adults that said I wanted to be an NFL player when I was a kid. And they pursued that. They were successful. Success does not happen right now. Success is an everyday thing. How are you growing mentally to create the next day of success? Success is not monetary. Because you can have $1 billion and still be unhappy. Success is a mental battle. Did you progress today? Did you give 100%? Were you all in? Could you have given more? If you give more, what you gonna do tomorrow? If you had more to give, what you gonna do tomorrow? Sometimes you gotta lose sleep. Sometimes you gotta go through the bumps and bruises. Sometimes you even gonna get knocked down. You gonna have cauliflower ear, broke nose, jaw disconnected. But you better keep them gloves on and you better get up and you better fight, because the expectation is that you will be successful. You just have to think it that way. That a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. That's not what it says. It says that a man believeth in his heart, though he is. So do you believe you made for mediocre? Or can you get up with the intent to fulfill expectation? Do you believe? Do you even have an expectation for yourself? Some people don't and don't know it, because they don't know what to expect. What they expect from themselves is what their parents put on them to be an expectation of the world. Be mindful of the things that you say. Be mindful of the things that you spew. Some stuff is good for you, ain't gonna feel good. Ain't gonna feel good. Some stuff is bad for you, it's gonna feel right. You gotta know which is which. Then there are some things that feel right. That's good for you. You don't know until you walk into that situation with expectation and the intent to fulfill the expectation in that season. Sometimes the only expectation is to get through the season. And in those seasons, we put more pressure on ourselves than we do in a good season. Do you understand that? I think about it. My personal opinion is people stay depressed because they put more expectation on the depression than they do about getting out of it. And then once the road gets a little hard to get out of it because that's what you're used to, the intent for the expectation you had goes away. So now that expectation is null and void. You cannot have an expectation without an action. You gotta be able to push through. For me, the reason people have anxiety is because they put more expectation on that anxiety. I want to get up with you every day. Their mouths is saying they don't want to, but their minds is living in it. You have to think forward. That's the expectation. I'm not gonna be here forever. I have to go through this season. I'm gonna go through it. I'm going to go through it. It's going to hurt. I'm going to have to fight. I'm going to have to keep my mind in a place where I can be thankful every day for something. Even though it's hard, the expectation is more on the positive than it is on the negative. But that's my opinion. Now, that's based on the things that I've been through with depression and I've been through with anxiety. That's my experience. I cannot give you that same experience. What I can give you is an expectation to look forward to. And that expectation is place intent on everything that you do in the positive. Your negative will not go away, but it will become smaller and it'll be easier to fight because you're placing intent on the expectation of greatness. You're placing the intent on the expectation of purpose and power and strength and love and thanksgiving. The Bible says in all things through prayer, supplication, through thanksgiving. Come on, you got to give thanks. You got to find something to be grateful for every day. You got to find something to get up and say thank you for every day. Stop saying you don't have nothing to be thankful for. You got a roof over your head. You got panties on your butt. You got drawers on your butt. You got running water. Come on, man. There are homeless people I can take you to right now that can tell you things they are grateful for. How is it that somebody who is homeless, living in this 112, 115 degree weather every day, can have something to be thankful for? But you who have a home and get to be warm or cool, you who barely eating, but you still eating, you ain't wondering where your next meal come from. How come y'all don't have that same attitude? You got to be thankful. That's number one. Be thankful for absolutely everything that you have. Create that to be a habit so that when you go through those seasons, those mental seasons, you have the strength to fight through it. You got to practice before you go through it. You don't just put kids on the football field. You don't just put kids in the swim lanes. You don't just go and hit a volleyball. No, you practice. You practice. And you practice and you practice and you practice some more. So maybe your intent needs to be the expectation of practice. What is your expectation? Why are you doing what you're doing? You have to tell God thank you first. Step number two. Step number two is always find a positive thought that will be equal to the negative thought. So your negative thought goes, you have it. That's natural. But you need to find a positive thought, because a positive thought is 100 times more powerful than a negative thought. So if you just balance them, for every negative thought you have, you do a positive thought. Okay? Balance them. It'll come out differently. Put your expectation in the positive basket. Number three, stop using the word can't. Can't means cannot. The Bible says with God, all things are possible. All things? It didn't have anything that said you can't do it in there. It said with God, nothing is impossible. That's what it said. I'm going to give you the scriptures later. That's what it said. With God, nothing is impossible. So if God tells you all things are possible, then why would you question yourself if he made you in his image? All things are possible. You got to start here first. And the expectation is to change the mind, because the body will follow the mind. With the mind, your brain is the central point that controls your body. It is the control system. It's the control panel. That's the motherboard. That's where everything happens. So feed yourself things that you want to regurgitate on people around you. You have to place intent on every expectation you have for yourself. But don't set no low bar. Don't set no bar. What do you really want? What do you want? For me, I want to see my kids grow up and do what they want to do. So when they tell me they want to do something, their expectation for me, with them telling me, their expectation for me is for me to help them get there. That's their expectation, whether they say it or not. So do I make my kids work hard? Do I apply pressure? Of course I do. 100%. 100%. But do I also do my part for their expectation? Sure. But if you're going to give me an expectation, I'm going to give you one too. Now let's run this together. Sometimes you need a running mate. Some races are not for you to be alone in. Sometimes you got to have a running mate. But if you place intent and expectation on your life, you will have intent and expectation for all of those around you as well. And you won't just accept anything, because at this point, you know how to have intent and expectation for yourself. So let's talk about making sure that you have what it takes. You have to know that your mind is a powerful thing. If you speak it, it will happen. Your words, it's a two-edged sword. It can cut coming, cut going. Here's how I look at that. Words are gonna cut regardless as if they're good, regardless to if they're good or if they're bad, right? But here's the thing. People cut people every day to hurt them. But doctors also cut people every day to heal them. What are you? What do you have the potential to be? Which one do you really want to be? The one that you want to be is the one you have the potential to be. If you don't want to heal, then there's only one other option for you. What are your words doing? Sometimes you got to listen to the message. Listen to the message. You can't always just hear how it's given to you. Have your feelings, have a fit, do what you need to do, and then come outside of that and think about what was actually said in the conversation. This is why conversations are important. You have to live every day with intent. But here's the thing. No matter what happens, once you place expectation on yourself and you learn who you are for yourself, no matter what happens, you're going to keep going. No matter what happens, you're going to keep going. So here's the end of the rainbow. Okay? Now that we done chased this rainbow, here's the end of it. You got everything it takes. You have absolutely everything it takes to get where you need to be and where you want to be. Start with the mind. Rearrange your thought pattern. And even when you get to a point of a place where you have peace, I promise you, you're still going to have to learn something. There's always something to learn. There's always something to soak in. So always make sure that you are the least intelligent in the room. Because if you walk into a room with people who are more intelligent than you, then you have intent to soak in so much information. That will in turn make you better. Don't forget to keep learning. Read. Understand that some of the greatest secrets in life are hidden in a book. Sometimes you have to grow yourself by reading. Do something for yourself. Go outside. Inhale the sun, exhale the heat. Whatever it is you need to do something for yourself. Last but not least, you need to dream it. You need to believe it. You need to write it. And then you need to achieve it. I can, I am, I will, I must. Make it an everyday thing. You got this. Stop thinking that you don't, because you do. Can't is a cuss word. Stop cussing yourself out. Because everybody who's attached to you sees what happens when you do it. And they follow suit because they don't know no better. You never know who's looking at you. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's looking up to you. So what I'm going to tell you is, live life to the best of your ability. And tomorrow will be even better. And the day after will be better and better and better. It will get better. And in those high moments of life, where you way up there and you living it the way you know life is supposed to be lived, and tragedy hits, don't forget where you were when you were at the top, so that you can work hard to get back to it. But when you get to the top, never forget what you had to go through to get there. Because when you have to go through it again, you'll remember, I went through that and I fought and I made it, so I know I can go through this too. You have the power to do what it takes to get to a successful place in life. How bad do you really want to be successful? What does success look like to you? How often do you even think of success? Most people get up and think, oh, I'm going to do this, and this, because that's my everyday life. I already have a plan. How about you shake that plan up? Sometimes you got to break up fallow ground. Sometimes you got to do what you need to do to break up that cement so you can build something else in the process. Mm-hmm. Your foundation should be set and solid. Not cracks. You'll have cracks. You'll have cracks for sure. And you'll create more on the way. But nothing should be able to break what you're doing. You have to have laser focus. 100% focus. That focus needs to be intentful. I am purposely working on this because here's the goal, and that's where I want to be. Set your goals according to your dreams and not according to your mind. God gives you things bigger than what you can actually see. Bigger than you could imagine. He has a purpose that is bigger than you. So stop putting your limited mind on God's expectation for you. Take that cap off. One foot in front of the other. And then what? Let's take off running. Because at the end of the day, he wouldn't have given it to you if your purpose wasn't to fulfill it. And I remember that sometimes you're the only Bible people read. How you living? How you living? Are you living so much so that the people around you can see that God is in you? They can feel that radiating off of you? That don't mean you can't have fun, baby. I love to dance. Hello? I love to dance. I will bust out and dance, and I don't care where I am. That doesn't mean you can't have fun in life. Life is supposed to be fun. Jesus partied. He went to weddings. He gave them good wine. I'm not encouraging you to drink. What I'm telling you is Jesus had fun in his day as well. And if you really read the Bible, you'll know that. There are a lot of characteristics and attributes of Jesus that people disregard. But anyway, I didn't come here for that. What I came here to tell you is get your butt up, live your life. Let's make this happen today. Chase every rainbow you find and do it 100% of with whatever you have inside of you. Oh, well, let me go down another rabbit hole. Let me tell you something about 100%. People have a 100% battery. Each battery is used by another component of their life. Kids, spouse, work, home, church, activities, football, basketball, cheerleading, volleyball. People have batteries. Batteries are often pulled multiple ways. Here's the thing. If somebody telling you they giving you 100%, you don't know what their regular lives entail for you to say that they're not giving 100%. Stop telling people they're not giving enough. You don't know what 100% looks like for them. Their 100% that they can give may actually literally be just 2%. But for them, they're giving you 100% of that 2%. Stop expecting people to jump immediately and be patient. But you got to be patient with yourself. You do that with somebody else. But if you think about your everyday life, you cannot possibly give 100% to everything. You only have 100%. And I'm only using 100% because that's what people typically see. I say I wake up on 5,000. You got to meet me there or beat me there, because at the end of the day, you got to outwork me if I'm going to do something with you. But I still do a lot of things. So be patient and be kind to those who are not able to move as fast as you. Because remember, you really didn't move that fast either. Took you years to get where you are. So when you go back and reach people, give yourself that same patience. Give people that same patience you gave yourself when you were going through that journey. Anyhow, make today a great day. I'm starting to switch house, so I have to go. But I love y'all. I just want y'all to be motivated and encouraged. And every time you see a rainbow, just think about a promise that God made you. Because the first rainbow in the Bible was a promise. Remember that. When you see a rainbow, remember the promise that God gave to you. And you keep going. You keep pushing. Because you're not just surviving, you're fighting. There's a big difference. There are so many people who just survive. They're patiently waiting on death to come get them. I ain't trying to wait on death. That's not where I choose to put my patience. Okay? I'm not going to not live my life, because God said he wants to see you exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask and think is what he going to give you. He also said, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. What is the desire of your heart? He says, I know the plans I have for you, the plans to prosper. There is a lot more to those scriptures. He said, I made you the head, not the tail. Come on, y'all. He said your cup will run over. Be for real. You have to do your part, though. You can't expect God to come in and do his part if you ain't doing your part. Go ye therefore and teach all nations. It don't say sit in your bedroom and do nothing. How you teaching nations if you ain't doing nothing? So what I'm telling you is, live Everybody has their own perception of what happens after life. I'm going to heaven. I'm going to see with God. People say you come back with karma. I mean, you come back with somebody else. I'm going to be sitting right on up there with God. I ain't coming back for y'all. I'm going to be sitting right on up there with God. So choose how you feel about life. But either way, this is the only one you get right now. So live it to the best of your ability. Be positive. Be grateful. Be thankful. Be understanding. Be patient. Be kind. Yes, all of those things are hard. I get it. I get it. But you got it. If you have a business, that you're trying to start, stop trying and do it. Because it was given to you on purpose. It don't matter how many people have the same business. What matters is God gave it to you for a reason. So let's go make today great. Let's be productive. Let's be productive. Let's be mindful. Let's do everything with intent, and let's place expectation on every intent you have. Okay? Love y'all. Bye.